You've been having dreams, strange dreams. They almost seem like memories locked away, lost to time. Every so often it's the same, a blurry figure tossing you into something. The darkness as the source of light is sealed away. You awake. Getting up, you stretch and look outside. You're met with the familiar sight of a beautiful planet teeming with life. It's breakfast time. "It's a bit chilly out today. Better get dressed," an elderly woman says from the corner of the room. It's your caretaker. You don't quite know who she is, just that she's always been there for you. Alright. You get up and get dressed. "Could you be a dear and fetch some animal hides? Our coats need repairing for winter." "Sure." You put on a winter coat. "I'll go get some." You leave. The chilly air blows through your long black hair. Animals roam to and fro in the massive plain landscape, sprinkled with rocks and trees. I should get a few skins. 4 or 5 should work. Flying creatures squawk as they fly overhead. I should get to work. You look for the best herd out of the bunch. A large herd of wide, 4-legged creatures with thick coats walk along about a mile away. There are 12 of them altogether. The herd stops by a large pool of liquid for refreshment. That should work. You start sneaking toward the herd. Your homemade dagger and your strength are all you have. If you use your gift, you might alert the beast that antagonizes the wildlife, a massive thing with no regard for the survival of anything but itself. You draw the knife as you get closer to the herd. The creatures notice you, but continue to drink. You continue to move in, a little slower now. A baby of this species leaves the herd and curiously approaches you. Though it is young, the baby's only a tad shorter than you. These creatures are big. I'll need 1 or 2 skins from them. You continue to inch closer. The baby lets out a peaceful sigh. It stops just a few feet from you, examining you from a distance. You try to inch closer. It watches intently. You get as close as you can, and it makes a sound to communicate with you. "What are you trying to say to me, buddy?" The baby turns back toward the herd and walks slowly to it as if to direct you. "I guess I'll follow you for now." You follow slowly and watchfully. Once you're in the center of the herd, you notice an injured one of the same species. It's lying down and clearly in pain. On closer inspection, you find that it has a huge gash in its side, caused by another animal. The gash looks like it was caused by something huge. What did that? Is this what the baby wanted me to see? The other beasts watch you closely. You walk slowly towards the injured animal, with a quiet voice, trying not to startle it. "What happened to you, buddy?" You kneel beside it. It's barely holding on. The beasts start to leave it behind. It can't get up. You draw your knife. "It's okay, buddy. It's okay." You stab the beast in the throat. It whimpers and slowly bleeds out. The herd is on the move again. You pick up the body and move to the cabin. A wonderful smell plumes from it. "I wonder what that smell is. She must be cooking something." You walk into the door. "Hey, I'm back. Wasn't too hard, huh?" "No. Where do you want this?" "Can you take it out back and drain it?" "All right." You leave and walk around the back. A big table covered in dry blood and freshly fallen snow under a large hanging hook attached to a tall metal pole waits for you. "All right, let's get this over with." You start draining the body. The blood steadily runs, covering the snowy table in a crimson color. The smell of the body grows foul. A muffled yell comes from the interior of the cabin. "Day meal is ready." "All right." You walk back to the front and enter the house. Take your boots off, son. Bloody footprints coat the floor. Oh, sorry. You remove your boots and leave them by the door. The woman pats the table. Sit. You walk over and sit down. We have the hatchlings from yesterday and that wonderful sap you found. It smells great. It's all thanks to you. If you hadn't stumbled upon that tree, it would be bitter. Yeah, well, I only get half credit. You did make it. I would never be able to make such a great meal. Thank you. Go ahead and get some. She motions to the food. You get some food and start eating. Man, this is delicious. You never change, she says, laughing. You finish eating. Is there anything else that needs to be done today? Actually, I have something to show you. We don't know much about your past, but we've talked about that a lot. I've never shown you where you were found. Where I was found, huh? Is there any real significance to this place? I'll take you there after dinner. All right. You take a bite. I'm not sure where you actually came from. I just know it wasn't here, back when there were tons of others like me. How did you know I wasn't from here? What made me so distinctly different? For starters, you had a tail. We called you the Beast Child. What happened to my tail? We had to cut it. Really? Why's that? It was a collective choice among all of my people. That troublesome extra limb caused tons of panic. When you got angry or didn't get your way, it would flick from side to side. That's how we knew you were going to get physical. Then one night, something unimaginable happened. You were not you. You were a giant fanged beast rampaging around the village. Nobody knew how it happened. We only knew that it had to be tied to your beast-like side, so we decided to get rid of it. After that, you were an angel. What even am I? What do you mean? You're my child. Yeah, you're right. What happened to your people anyways, if you don't mind me asking? Only a few of them remain. They live somewhere in the wild parts. The others, they were killed. Oh, I'm sorry. It was that monster. It's been around for as long as we have. As far as I'm concerned, it can't be killed. Many have tried, but none have succeeded. She finishes eating. What is this monster? A huge creature as big as a mountain. It kills for sport. That's why I've warned against you using your gift. Right. Can you check to see if that body is drained? Sure. You get up and put your boots back on, and go to check on the body. It's now done bleeding, a puddle of frozen blood underneath it. You pick it up and place it on the table. It sinks into the snow slightly. Then you walk back to the front of the house. The body's done. I left it on the table. Thank you. The rest of the day you relax, and when nightfall comes, you go to leave the house. The woman puts on a coat. Are you ready? Yeah, let's get going. You walk outside. It's a bit of a walk, follow me. Okay. She leads you through the wilderness, trudging through this thick snow. I remember how shocked I was when I came across you. Oh, really? Of course, it's not every day you find an infant in the forest. Yeah, you got a point. You used to get jealous of the other children, always trying to get what they got. I remember that. I never got to do some of the things those other kids did because of that. Oh well, it's all in the past now. They all thought I was crazy for bringing you back. Was it the tail? Partly. They thought you were a curse sent here as a, curse. Really? Why is that? Not sure. They never told you? I never cared to listen. Oh, I see. I knew they were wrong, and I'm glad I believed it. Right. You blush a bit. Here we are. You walk into a beautiful clearing. The light is blocked out by the tree tops, and a waterfall flows nearby. Amazing, isn't it? Wow, you really found me here? Kind of. She walks over to the waterfall. I found you in here. She points to it. I was in the waterfall? Sure were. How did you know I was in there? You were splashing. Oh, is there anything left behind the waterfall? No, but you were wearing this. He reaches into the base of the waterfall and pulls out something. Not sure what it is. Looks like it's covering vitals. Armor, maybe? Possibly, but it's nothing like I've ever seen. There's another thing to see, but it's way up there. She points to a cliff high above them. Is there a way up there? Yes. We'll have to take the long path around the side. Okay, lead the way, if you don't mind. Also, can I see that armor? If you want. She hands it to him. You start messing with the armor, hitting it and stretching it out. It's very hard, but somehow very elastic. They head up the massive rock formation, stopping several times to catch your breath. It's over there. I have no clue what the heck it is, though. She points to a large round object a few feet from the ledge, just out of sight from below. I'm gonna take a look at it. Be careful. Okay. You walk towards the object and take a look inside. The interior is cramped, only enough room for one person to fit inside. A padded seat sits across from an array of square buttons and knobs. What is all this? I don't know. It's some kind of technology, I think. There's something scratched on the interior of the object. Kabu. There's something on the interior. It says Kabu. What does that mean? I don't know, but obviously it's linked to whatever this thing was for. Do you think it still works? It's been a couple of decades since I last saw it. No idea. Should I see if it does? It's up to you. Okay. You press what looks like an on button. A very faded light turns on inside and a bunch of noises start. What's happening? No idea. It starts beeping rapidly. What the hell? It's so loud. You try to turn it off. After a minute, it stops on its own. Okay, I'm not messing with that again. We should go before we attract something. Alright, let's get out of here. You travel back down the mountain. What even was that? No idea. And what the hell is Kabu? You know as much as I do. You arrive back at your cabin. Can you help me skin the animal? Sure. Do you remember how? It's been a while since last time. I could use a refresher. First, we have to flip it over onto its back. Alright, you flip the corpse over. Then you slice all the way down the underside. You do as she says. Then you put the tip of the knife under the skin and carefully saw at it so that the skin is separated from the flesh. You carefully saw at it. Good. Now you do that for all the skin until you can peel it all off. You repeat the process and peel the skin off. Good job. Now we just bring it in and start sewing. Okay. You pick up the skin and start moving to the front. The woman follows and goes into a room. She emerges with a bone needle and some vine thread. You can just lay on the floor, sweetie. Okay. He lays it on the floor. Any idea what race you are? I only know of one other that was ever like you. I have no idea. And one other? Yes. About 15 years ago, she stopped by the village. How was she like me? She had a tail as well. What was she like? She was nice, but she didn't stay long. The village turned her down. They don't seem too nice to my kind. She was making demands we couldn't afford. I see. The old woman is now on the floor, cutting off the head and limb parts of the coat. She wanted land, like every other traveler who comes through here. Well, it is a nice place to live. She said she wanted to colonize here. I'm not sure if you know too much about colonization, but if you do, you know the effects. She grabs a small pair of scissors and starts clipping the fur. It would probably interfere with the village and ecosystem. Sure would. The more people, the more harvesting. The more harvesting, the less resources. Right. I think it would have been nice to have seen her. Maybe ask some questions. It's all too late now. I wish I would have thought about it sooner. Oh well. Can I see your coat? Sure. You take off the coat and hand it to her. Now we can start making the new one. She lays the coat on top of the pelt and spreads it out. You remember her doing this before. It seemed like a long time ago. She looked much younger then. You sure have grown since I made this last coat. I'll have to make this one a little bigger. She traces around the old coat with a black liquid on a brush, making sure to leave an inch around the edge. Did you have another dream last night? Yeah. Very strange things happened in it. Some figure gave me something, then darkness. I wonder if it means anything. She starts cutting along the black liquid trail. I miss them, you know. The other villagers. If only they could see you now. See how wrong they were. Yeah, it would be nice to have them see me. Not out of spite, but out of curiosity. Maybe I could have been friends with them. The kids for sure. They didn't care about where you were from. I'm sure you would have gotten along just fine. She finishes cutting. The pelt is now in the shape of the old jacket. She stands up with the pelt in her hands. Come over here. You walk over. Turn around. You turn around. I'm gonna stick you a few times, okay? Alright. Arms out. You lift your arms. Small points of pain roam up your arms in steady dotted patterns. Okay, don't move. We see that she's pinned the pelt to your back with small bone pins. She steps back. Okay, good. She speedily removes all the pins, causing more pain than when they were put in. Pelt falls and she catches it. Now for the fun part. She walks over to the table and puts strange metal objects on her fingertips. What's that for? So I don't prick myself. At my age, I probably wouldn't notice if I did, and that would be a problem. I see. These were my grandmother's. She was from ep.1. Where's that? Not a place, silly. A time. She was in the first group when this planet was originally colonized. She taught me all I know. She must have been really good at it then, if that's where you learned it. Definitely. Everyone came to her when they needed repairs. Wow. Pretty cool. She flips her hair to sarcastically boast. She then pierces the needle into the coat and starts sewing. This is a good one. You're gonna be warm, all right. Thank you for this. I don't think I could do this by myself. You doing this for me definitely helps. That's what I'm here for. Oh, I almost forgot. Can you go and get some strong fern? I need some to make more thread. Sure, but what will I wear? Your old coat can hang out for one more trip, I'm sure. Yeah, you're right. Somehow I already forgot about this thing. You put on the coat and boots and leave. You remember that the strong fern plants grow about halfway into the wilderness. That's pretty far out there. Better get moving. You start moving in the direction of the fern. The cold is harsh, and the wind slightly picks up as you go deeper. The trees sway and snow begins to fall. Snowflakes stick to your tar-shaded hair. After a few minutes, you notice that it's significantly darker than when you left. The snow falls faster as a small snowstorm starts. Luckily, your old coat keeps you mostly warm. Shortly after the storm picks up, you see the fern. It's a bright green, slightly muted by the drab white snow, frost blooming on the tips of the leaves. You hear a faint, loud noise way off in the distance. It must be loud if you can hear it from where you are. What's that? The snow mixes with hail. Damn. I'm gonna need to find some cover. You look for cover and find a small tree that's bigger than the rest. You walk under it. This should work. The fern is blown around in the strong frigid winds. Trees sway, branches cracking in the winter rage. What's with this weather? An orange light can be seen in the distance, seemingly the same place the sound came from. The smell of smoke spreads through the air. On closer inspection, you see it's coming from the direction you came from. Looking up, you see plumes of smoke clouding the sky. Something's on fire. You start moving towards the smoke. Wait. No, it can't be. You start running. Snow and hail pelt you as you run through the harsh winds. You keep running. This pain is nothing. The snow deepens to the point where you're practically skipping with each step. Damn it. Gotta keep going. A minute passes and you see the opening you traveled through. I need to get to that opening. You get there as fast as possible. The limbs of the bushes and brush scrape by you as you are met with the sight of a large hole in the roof of the cabin, smoke and flames emanating from it. What the hell? You start to sprint to the cabin. An unfamiliar voice shouts from the right of you. Hey! You look over in surprised. You must be the one that sent the distress beacon. You reek of Saiyan genes. But no tail? How peculiar.